Hi everybody! In this video, I'm going to show you how to do your stat homework. There's a homework assignment to do for every section of every chapter, and you'll find them on the page for that section in the modules. So I'm in the modules looking at chapter 1, and let's say I'm at the very beginning of the course like we are, and I want to work on section 1.1. You'll find the homework for the section very near the top of the page. Here we see 1.1 homework, and this is a PDF file. Ideally, you will download this and print it. Here's what it looks like. There's questions with spaces for you to answer. You can also do your work on a tablet. If you have neither a tablet nor a printer, you can simply write out your answers on blank paper. If you're doing this on paper, you will need to scan your work. The scan will need to be a PDF, and all pages will need to be in a single file. In the next video, I have a tutorial to show you how to do that. If you're working on a tablet, just save your work as a PDF file and turn that in. Let's see what a completed homework assignment might look like. This happens to be the 2.1 assignment, and you can see this is the answers that I will provide after you've turned the homework in. And you can see that I've just written out answers. However, I would like to point out, let's see. Yeah, let's look here. This question is, what are the mean and standard deviation for x? Now, don't worry about what all that means. We'll learn that when we get there. What I want to point out is that there are two things I'm computing here, the mean and the standard deviation. And so there are two answers. 1.5 is an answer, and 0.76 is an answer. But notice there's a lot more on here than just the two answers. I've shown how I got the answers. I've explained where the answers are coming from. I've also said what I'm computing. I have labeled things clearly. So for example, as we will learn when we get there, the mean is symbolized with a mu, which is the Greek letter M. So I've labeled that calculation. I've basically said the mean is, because the equal sign is the math version of the word is. So mu equals means the mean is. Then I've shown how I computed that, and then in the end it equals 1.50. Going down, we will learn to calculate the standard deviation, which is a very complicated calculation, and because of that, we're going to organize our work in a table. And again, don't worry about this right now. I'm going to show you how to do this. But my point is, when I've showed you how to organize your work in a table, that means that when you're doing homework or doing a test, you need to show that. So I've got the table here as part of the work. Then at the end, as we will learn, the thing we get out of the table is finally used to calculate this standard deviation thing that we'll be learning about later. Again, notice that I've started out that last computation with the label. That's a sigma. It's the Greek letter S, and we'll learn that that's how the standard deviation is symbolized. So I've essentially started out my computation by saying the standard deviation is, that's what sigma equals means. Then I've shown how I'm computing that. Now, I'm just doing this square root of 0.58126 in a calculator. So you might feel like, oh, I don't need to bother to write that down. I'm just doing it in the calculator. But again, you want to give your reader some idea of how this computation was performed. You want them to be able to check and see what you did. So instead of just writing down the 0.76, I wrote down that the way I'm getting 0.76 is by taking the square root of 0.58126. And by the way, this can help you get more points if you do this, because here's the thing. It's so easy to hit the wrong button on a calculator, and we'll be using calculators a lot. It's so easy to hit the wrong button and have your answer come out wrong. Now, if I see 0.58126 under a square root sign, so that I can see that you know that that's what you're computing, you're not going to lose much if you just hit a wrong button on your calculator and get the wrong answer. But if you have the wrong answer and I don't see that square root computation, I'll have no idea where that number came from, and you'll lose a lot more points. So best practice, and also the best way to get points, give me a good idea, a good, clear, neat, organized idea of how you're getting your answers. Once you've done the homework, you'll need to turn it in. Here's how you do that. You go into the assignments in Canvas using the link on the left. There you'll see a list of all the assignments that have been published so far. Scroll through the list to find the one you want to turn in. We're turning in 1.1, so I will click there. Then we click Start Assignment. You will be uploading a file for your homework. If you did the homework on your tablet, you've got a file already. Make sure you save it as a PDF file. If you did the assignment on paper, what you need to do is scan your work as a PDF. We have a file now, so we will upload it. You have to then click also Choose File, and you navigate on your computer to where you have that particular PDF. We click Submit Assignment. And we're done. Notice the New Attempt button. If you accidentally upload the wrong file, you can click there and add another file. I will only grade your latest submission. The last thing we need to talk about is how to scan your homework so that you can turn it in. If you have a printer with a scanner, just use that. That's going to be the easiest way to get a good scan. But I know a lot of you won't have that. You can also get a free scanner app to use on your phone. Don't just use your phone camera, that's not going to work. Whether you use a printer scanner or a scanner app on your phone, be sure to save the file as a PDF, and you'll need to make sure that all the pages of your work for one single assignment are in one single PDF file. In the next video, I have a tutorial using a free scanner app to help you with this.